It is November 18th, 2024. It's like 7:10 in the evening. Didn't make it to Hollywood. Really wasn't going to plan on it. Just laying back over here because I was kind of figuring and hoping actually that someone would do a call out. And luckily for me, they called out. So I picked up another shift for 6 to 10:30. And it's like really cold out here right now. It was, I think, 46, 45 this morning. It's now 53. Oh, man. It looked like it was going to storm and everything, but so far it hasn't. Though there is a possibility of some of the areas out there, like in the Empire and stuff. So my boss is over there getting the wizard display all set up. They do such a great job when they're decorating and stuff. In fact, like the front table when you come into the theater where we have like the displays or the merchandise and other promotions. Right now we're doing the STARS program, which is a donation where you can donate money, and you could also, you know how like they do the roundup of your change and that gets donated to charity and stuff. So they're doing that. And you get to spin the wheel and get one of the kitty prizes or get one of the movie posters if you happen to land on the little roulette wheel. So did you guys see what Biden did? Everything that they've said that Biden or that Trump was going to do, like, oh, you know, World War III and everything, again, the left likes to project because they like to, narcissistically, it almost seems like they like to tell you what their intentions are going to be, but they blame it on the other person. So yesterday, I guess old Joe gave the okay, gave the thumbs up to let Croatia use LRMs on Russia. And Russia, Putin responded. I mean, he said, if anything happens, any of the supportive NATO countries and whose ever weapon pretty much, I guess, does it, they're going to, you know, retaliate. And it seemed like it's going to be a devastating retaliation. I hope not. But, yeah. And I think they will instate Kamala using the 25th Amendment on Joe. He gave what, like $10 million to the rainforest? $10 million of taxpayer American money. That's great. That's just fantastic. It's bad enough that the people on Social Security are, oh, good Lord. All this money that is going to other countries and other people just for what? I don't know. Possibly money laundering or just bribery or just trying to slip in their back door. Who fucking knows? At this point, it's over and done with. But is it? Trump is pretty worried. All the while right now, possibly looming that maybe, I hope nothing really happens, but afterwards, we'll see what happens in the morning. Kamala Harris. It's also because they want to make a statement. Have the first Democratic female president of the United States. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit at this point. That's pretty cool. That was Gladiator 2. That's one of we have a program here. Well, thing. We're like on Mondays, I think it's called Monday Mystery Movie. So basically it's like $3 or $4, whatever the price is. You don't know what it is. But for whatever the very, very inexpensive price, the cheap price is, you get to see a movie of what you don't know it is, and it happens to be Gladiator 2. This is what it looks like so far. It's gonna be really cool. They got the cauldron, the dresses. Wicked. Okay, I just saw Jessie's shadow, I think. The black shadow that she said she saw over there, only it came out and it went right in here. Right in this. It went right in there. Holy shit. They're still spraying at night. You can kind of see it right up on there, but zoom in a little bit more. They really hate us. Really hate human beings. And we also got, so now if you come in, we finally got our tap to pay and Apple Pay, of which up until today we didn't have it. So when people would come and say, oh, do you have Apple Pay? It's like, no. And then people would want to tap to pay. We couldn't have that, so it's a lot easier now. Another reason why you don't want to move to California.
Good morning to you both. All of this in response to what President-elect Donald Trump says will be one of his first things to do once he gets into the White House. He says one of his first acts will be to carry out mass migration deportations, and he says he will be using the military in order to do that. So now the LA City Council wants to counter that by enacting this sweeping sanctuary city ordinance. They're going to be voting on it this morning at around 10 a.m. and they say it is very likely to pass. Now we have a draft of this ordinance. We want to pull it up for you on the screen there because this was released about a week ago by Mayor Karen Bass and the city attorney Heidi Feldstein-Soto. City officials working with immigrant rights groups to write it. But the big takeaway here is that the city of LA would be prohibiting the use of its city resources from assisting federal immigration authorities. So it would be prohibiting city staff from investigating or arresting anyone in order to enforce federal immigration law, participating in immigration enforcement, or providing access to information about immigration status. Now, we also spoke to the LAPD. The LAPD police chief now also vowing to protect immigrant families as well.
It's ridiculous.
The LAPD will not be participating in any roundups of anybody. The board will consider several emergency resolutions, including training teachers, administrators, and staff on how to respond to immigration personnel who request information about students or are attempting to enter school property, rejecting policies that target critical race theory and gender identity. All right, opposing efforts to restrict classroom discussions on controversial or political topics as well.
This state and this county keeps getting more and more woke.
Freeways has been reopened this hour after a fire erupted underneath the northbound 170. Video shows heavy smoke rising as firefighters put out the flames about 1:30 this morning. Authorities say a fire
Because being a Because being a sanctuary city will protect people.
Residents we spoke with say they want more help from the city to increase safety in the area of Bessemer and Reseda. Some have shared photos of what appears to be illegal drug use at a bus stop in broad daylight. Meantime, some of those experiencing...
It's not about... This looked really good last night.
There we go. Gladiator 2 had its big LA premiere last night at the TCL Chinese Theater on Hollywood Boulevard. All the stars were there. Paul Mescal, Pedro Pascal, Denzel Washington, Connie Nelson, Fred Hetchiger. Some surprise guests hit the carpet as well. Snoop Dogg, he was out and about and looking great.
Yes, it's that cold. Even the security gentleman is all bundled up in his thick coat and his hoodie too. If you ever feel slightly breeze on your back and your neck, oof, I gotta get a scarf. I think I have one. But anyway, so as you can see, as I've reported or talked about, they've been doing a lot of change They have a new retail restaurant over here coming up. I got a chance to look yesterday before coming into work at the new hot pot restaurant that's going over there where the former Islands Burgers used to be. It's Islands. And they've been doing a lot of other stuff. I'm sure they're going to probably do a lot more signage and stuff and make it a little bit more informative for visitors and people who like to come in. But also, see, we have these quite old and faded and yellow lights all around, but they are replacing them. They're actually also replacing the light bulb fixtures, or the light, I guess I used to call them light bulbs, right? But they're putting in new clear glass. And I think that one's also been replaced. Actually, no, that's an old one. I don't know if they might even clean up the clear ones, but they are taking shape. I'm sure a lot of this more transformation will take place over the winter time. You know, especially after the holidays, after Christmas is done, the tree is done, the parade and the football games are all over here in Pasadena and everything. And the holiday hype is kind of winding down and probably gearing up for January 20th. And then I'm sure they're going to start to ramp up with a lot more. As I said, you know, I keep hearing them and I've seen them talk. A couple of people, especially around here in the circle and stuff like that, but they keep mentioning they want one specific person, which I guess is like in charge of all of this. I want, you know, I want the turf to be, you know, right up to there, and that would be like the gray-black border around the circle would be. And they are going to keep the mosaics. I found out something I did not know after being here in Pasadena for 15 years, that those mosaics, both that border the back of the fountain and also underneath where the tree is, the big rose, that they cannot remove those, in fact. Indeed, that is city property. Know that. That is nice to know. So those will be saved. I'm sure they might, you know, clean up the stonework and everything. A lot of the stonework just needs a good power wash and everything to bring back the color and stuff. I was going to say is to give it a protective coat. When I've heard the people talking about they want the turf to be on the inside of the circle, extending outwards of that gray border. Interesting. We'll see what. Oh my goodness, the sun is finally coming out. Amen. Thank you, God. But I'm sure they'll do a lot more. It'd be nice if you can really put a little bit more. It'd be nice over here if we can get a grocery store. And honestly, one thing that I had been talking to my friends and stuff, because a lot of them don't know, it's getting kind of bright, is that a lot of them didn't know about the Wild Rose, the former nightclub over here, the former venue over next to, I'm really surprised. These young people never really got out of where Cali Burgers, they didn't even know, or Cali Burgers used to exist there. So actually, the only closest nightclub that we have here is the Mix, that is over in the corner over here, adjacent from this property. That's over towards the northeast corner of Colorado. It'd be nice if we could get a nightclub over here again, or some sort of nighttime venue. Because honestly, as I've said, and as you folks have seen over time of recording and videos, especially in the past, there is really nothing here to attract people. There's really nothing here to stimulate them other than the Yard House. Stand alone. Even during the lockdown, honestly, and even when we've had our slowest moments, when it's like a skeleton crew, nothing more than just the managers doing our jobs and a crew of maybe 3 of us, 4 of us, when normally we would have staffed on a good summer, on good summer days and stuff like that during the time, close to like 15 people, you know. But that would be something, and at least something a little bit more affordable on the upstairs of the food court area. We used to have. Now I remember one of my coworkers reminding me last night what was in the corner. So it used to be Rubio's, Mrs. Fields, and then it was the Chinese restaurant, and then it was Cold Stone Creamery, and then it was Yard House. That is that used to dot over there. And then, of course, ArcLight Cinema over here, and then right across the way, it was Island Burger. So many. Now it's just like, boo-hoo, it is so sad that this property just doesn't really happen. We need some sort of more of attraction and stuff. At least a little bit of more signage, honestly. Once this whole place is a little bit more revitalized and looking better, and hopefully get a little bit more vendors, food choices, and other things. We have plenty of clothing. The only other thing that we have is a tiny little convenience mart, and that's where my old job used to be, that I used to be assistant manager over, and that's Harry's, Harry David's. I really miss that place. That place was, even though we were slow, it was a lot of fun. It was a great store to help run, and I loved every moment of being able to facilitate and running the operation. It was fantastic. But alas, we are just down to the bare minimum. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know, sometime after the holidays, or if not before the holiday, Christmas time, get that panini kebab grill in. That hot pot place is going to be looking really cool. I mean, the inside is just really cool. It's dark. It's got some red lighting effect. It's going to be really, really cozy. And I was telling my coworkers last night when I got a peek at it. It looks really nice. It looks inviting. So hopefully that'll do well. But if they could put some like signage in downtown that says, hey, you know, while you're doing your shopping over here, don't forget, up here at the Paseo, you got all these vendors. It's kind of funny because no one ever really promotes the other. And that is to say, Old Town doesn't promote the shops on Lake Avenue. The shops on Lake Avenue doesn't promote Old Town. I guess I understand it's a retail property, sectionalized kind of a turf, what have you. But honestly, the thing is, in cooperation and with the city and everything, you stimulate a little bit more people in wanting to be here, especially if they're visitors. Say, hey, honey, you know what? I know that we got to spend the whole day, and a great part of the evening over in Old Town. It's all great and everything. But I can't keep helping but wonder, and I keep looking on Google Maps, what is Shops on South Lake? If we had some signage to promote both ends of this city over here, this side of Pasadena, it would do great. It would promote wanting to stay here. It would promote more revenue. Democrats don't really think about that. They just want to hit and go, and that's it. It's why downtown Disney encompasses one vendor to the other vendor to the other vendor. They promote downtown. They promote one another. They promote each of the retail neighbors. Here in Pasadena, no, not so much. But the independent little retailers don't really stimulate. I've always, whenever people come into the movie theater, so, you know, and I go, well, you know, you go down to Old Town, that's the closest. There's a great selection of entertainment, especially more over at night, and a lot of choices of food, a myriad of shopping and eateries over there. On the shops of Lake, the choices kind of, yeah, too, but a lot of good places to go in the shops of South Lake. I just don't understand business nowadays. I mean, even when I was a kid, you go to one place, you know, and you could go into a vendor and say, hey, you know, blah, blah, blah. And the retailer, the shop owner, back as we used to say, would say, oh yeah, you could do that over here in the corner, or you could go over here, the cleaners are down over here, the pharmacy's over there. And that's how I grew up in my town of El Segundo. It was just all helping each other. It was all neighbor. We worked for the Hive, and the Hive was our community, and our community was El Segundo, California. Here, not so much. Yes. They're still not done. We still got a little bit, well, quite a bit more, but they did a great job in hanging some decorations up there to create a really nice scene. It's going to be so cool. Why is it sticking? We are going to see the best Christmas pageant. Holding my hand, keep you by my side, superhuman, my ancient kryptonite. This is number 10. One of the baby theaters. Here we are. Sandwich, my soda. Oh. Yes, I still make my own food sometimes and bring it to the movie theater. That's the way that we were raised as kids. Mom would sometimes make popcorn and bring it in, try to sneak it in at least, especially when the family or you got invited over to a friend's house and they went out to the drive-in.
No wizard that there is or was is ever gonna bring me down.
Now.
That was about one of the sweetest movies I have actually seen in a very long time. If you like A Christmas Story, you know, the 1970, 1980 movies that we grew up with, you'll absolutely love this. It is formatted kind of like that, with the sister actually, instead of Ralphie in this portrayal, narrating the past and about the pageant and everything. Even much better than Red One by far. It's just sweeter and it's just nicer. It's definitely another good feel-good holiday Christmas movie with a lot of good wholesome messages. I definitely recommend The Best Christmas Pageant.
Now purposefully being shot out of the sky.
That's here in Pasadena.
There's been multiple reports of birds that have come in with similar injuries or have come in with actual pellets found in their bodies lodged. When officers bring us animals,
Lard Hamlet with Pasadena Humane says they launched an investigation after local wildlife rescuers like Cleo Watts were reporting more than a dozen parrots shot over the past couple of months. One of those just brought into the center survived. The other didn't make it.
and so those can be a little bit more complicated. And if they're not going to be able to be potentially re-released back into the wild, then it's usually not a great situation for them.
It's unclear why, but some speculate these pesky parrots are ruffling feathers with their noxious noise.
People here in Pasadena and Altadena and San Gabriel Valley either love them or they hate them.
We love
They
them.
can be a little loud and obnoxious at times.
Yeah.
So people have been shooting them.
It's rumored the green non-native birds escaped a pet store in Furno decades ago and settled into the San Gabriel Valley. Rescuers say the exotic birds are here to stay and asking for the public's help to stop targeting the parrots. It's a misdemeanor to shoot in the air with enhanced charges if you actually shoot an animal. Anybody, again, with information to
Sick
contact
people.
Pasadena Humane so they could catch these shooters. We're live in Pasadena. Jennifer McGraw, KTLA 5 News.
So for about a week now, dozens of parrots have been injured and in some cases have been killed. There's been a lot of, see this on the Nextdoor app and all of this. And a lot of people that have been coming out of their home finding injured birds or dead birds like on their lawn and stuff like that. I don't think I've ever really been here, 15, 16 years, and I've never heard of anybody shooting. Though it's true, they say that people hate them and stuff like that. I know that when we lived over on Raymond Street, they were quite noisy and they were back of us, but you live with them, they're birds and what are they going to do, just like over in Arcadia. Residents over there for the majority, do not like peacocks. Peacocks are flying and roam wild all over, especially over by the Arboretum. The residents don't like them because, one, the noise that they make. You ever heard of a peacock doing its call? It's quite loud and sometimes very, very obnoxious at any given hour. Certainly a lot louder than the parrots. And second, their poop. When they're on top of the homes, they like to perch on top of on rooftops. So when they poop, and it's very destructive to house roofs, tile, whatever it is. It's very destructive, and especially on the cars and on the paint jobs and everything. But it's not really a reason that warrants to kill an animal, such a beautiful animal anyway, let alone these little guys, these parrots. I like them. I love them. They're like the clowns of the sky. For me, the clowns on the ground are the squirrels. So yeah, it's been about a week and everything. It just started. It would be horrible to find out that maybe it might be an immigrant or someone, just like back east with domestic pets.
And tonight we're hearing from both sides. Those behind this sanctuary city measure call the action critical but opponents are calling it totally misguided and grandstanding.
From immigration enforcement planned by the second Trump administration. The board is also looking
All they want is the kids.
for LGBTQ.
All they want is the children. Because having more children in the school system and our system means more money coming into California. So they're using the kids also. And I'm sure they'll probably end up in getting kidnapped and God knows what else. This is making me sick.
Both open on Friday, and already there are efforts to bring the two together into Glicked, a buzzy opportunity to see both films together. The question is, can lightning strike twice?